Hello all, welcome to my Read a Ton of Blue Books vlog. So this week I'm going to be reading all blue colored books of various shades for this fabulous readathon. I have two focus books that I genuinely would love to complete during this readathon. This is my checklist. Isn't it blue and cool? So I want to finish To Kill a Kingdom, and I want to finish The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, but probably in between To Kill a Kingdom and Tenant, or while I'm reading Tenant, I'm going to start either Far Rockaway, All the Crooked Saints, or The Never-Ending Story. Haven't decided which of those yet, so that will be the element of surprise in this video, but kind of a little after midnight, I guess, maybe like 12:30 or so, I started To Kill a Kingdom. I've gotten to page 64 so far. I think that's a pretty good chunk to start. I probably would have gotten farther, but last night, or wee hours of the morning when I started reading, my head started to hurt and I got a little bit of a headache, and then I still have that headache going strong, so I haven't been picking it up as often. But I think though the beauty of this setup of this book is that it has really short chapters as well as a fairly large print, which is really helping me stay in the story even though my brain hurts, because it's the kind of size print, short chapterness that my brain needs right now. From what I can tell so far, it is a retelling of The Little Mermaid, but instead of mermaids, although mermaids do exist in this world, the main character that's sort of what you would call the Little Mermaid character is actually a siren. There are two perspectives between the siren character, who is a princess, and she basically steals hearts for her birthday every year, and also the prince, who is a hunter of sirens, and he's kind of a pirate prince. He loves the sailing and all that stuff, but he really doesn't feel that he's suited for being a prince. I do enjoy the writing style so far. I can see myself possibly having one or two nitpicks with this, but if I ignore those nitpicks, otherwise pretty enjoyable. Really enjoying the spin so far. Really intrigued to see how it plays out, because I'm not sure I can genuinely see these two characters falling in love with each other, since they're literally hunting each other. I do have a couple of things to do. I have to drop by the drive-thru of the bank, and I have to go to the grocery store because I couldn't go yesterday. By the way, my aunt made me this fabulous mask. It has sparkly ladybugs on it. It's my favorite color, lime green, as you can see. And I'll be wearing this out while I do those little, chores that you have to go out and do. But I'm hoping, since I don't have much else scheduled for the day, that when I come back home, I will get to read more of this. Alright, it is 8:24 in the morning on day 3. Didn't update really yesterday because I hadn't finished To Kill a Kingdom yet, and I just wanted to wait until I completed the book. I'm up earlier than normal. Actually, I'm always up at this time, but I usually am not doing a lot of stuff in the morning, or don't have makeup on or anything. Not that this is great makeup right now. I just covered up some, scary bits of my face. But anyway, usually I would not be made up or trying to look decent at this time because I would just be working on my magnetic poem. But I'm up because the Discord chat for the readathon, or one of them, is going to be happening today. And in my time zone, I'm pretty sure it's at 9 a.m. So I'm going to be doing that in a half hour. As for To Kill a Kingdom, I really enjoyed reading it. It was just a good fun adventure to check out, and it was fast-paced, and it kept me invested in the story and in the characters for the most part. Sorry about my dog squeaking. He heard the doorbell ring and now he's all discombobulated. Anyway, I do think there are some elements of the world building that could have been better executed or a little clearer. While I did find it occasionally a little distracting, it wasn't so distracting that I lost my investment in the story. I also really liked that it had some interesting nods to the Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid story, even though it's not 100%, like it's a very loose based on Little Mermaid, but it does have some nods to the original story, but it's without it getting too Hans Christian Andersen depressing, because you know Hans Christian Andersen has to go like down the road of sadness. So I give this 4.25 stars. It was a very enjoyable read. As for other books, I did download a audiobook, sorry, I'm slow, it's the morning, of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, and I ended up also finding an audiobook that I wanted to read for this, or listen to for this, that's also blue. So I feel like I'm really committing to the spirit of the readathon in that way. But I listened to a very tiny bit of this before I went to sleep, and I also started Far Rockaway. I think I'm going to go with Far Rockaway and Tenant of Wildfell Hall for the rest of this readathon. I do still want to at some point read all the Crooked Saints and the Neverending Story, but I think with the Neverending Story I'm going to have to read or listen to the audiobook while reading it in physical copy, so I think I might wait until I get it in physical copy to listen to that. And then all the Crooked Saints, I just read like a little bit of all the Crooked Saints, and I read a little bit of Far Rockaway, and I just was more interested at the time in reading Far Rockaway. And it does, not unlike the last book, have some print that is like in a really good spacing for my eyeballs, and also it does have, at least at the front here, some really short chapters, and that's just kind of the mood that I'm in. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch some of my new favorite show, McCloud's Daughters. You probably can't see that. I probably could have actually finished this book faster had I not had to give in to my addiction to McCloud's Daughters. This is an Australian show that my mom got me into, and my gosh, once you finish like season 2, you're like, I can't stop. It's taking over my life. What am I gonna do? I can't not watch McCloud's Daughters. So I've been definitely in my free time reserving time for McCloud's, because my gosh, and stuff is crazy happening in this episode. Something just happened when I watched like the little front part of this, and I don't know if I'll finish it before the Discord chat, but I'm definitely going to watch more of it. It's gonna be a fun morning. McCloud's, Discord, Exsanity, excitement, and insanity? I don't know. I'll see you later. And welcome to Thursday. So that's day 4 of the readathon. By the way, the Discord chat was really fun. It was a little like crazy because we were all like trying to figure out all the ins and outs of Discord, because a lot of us are new to Discord, so it was like, but it was still super fun, like chatting with other bookish people. We did decide in the end collectively, or I think collectively, that we were going to move any kind of games we wanted to play or anything like that to Zoom, because it's just a little smoother in terms of like how the video runs. So I decided that I was going to host the Zoom meeting, because I actually have like the pro version that you pay for, because I had to get it for teaching dance classes over the webs. So that way we can play for a little longer, and hopefully people will be there and we can like chat and stuff on Friday, and I will also be like awake more because it's at 3 p.m. my time. Now for the bookish update, I have finally read enough of Far Rockaway and Tenant of Wildfell Hall to actually tell you kind of my thoughts so far, as well as a summary of them. So I'm enjoying both of these immensely. So far I have read about 93 pages, I guess, of Tenant of Wildfell Hall. I kind of have a vague, it's very vague, because I've tried to avoid like too many spoilers on this book, despite the fact that it's classic, but it is a classic, so I do have a vague idea of where the story is going, but basically the plot of this, if you don't know, or the summary of this, I should say, is that there is this man named Gilbert, and he befriends this mysterious widow, and he kind of starts to fall for her, but then because she's so mysterious, he's kind of wondering if that's the right idea for him. So I'm very drawn into this story. I wanted to read it even longer last night, but I started to get sleepy and I didn't want to fall asleep on anything important because I was really enjoying like what was going on so far and the structure of the story. The audiobook's pretty good. I have been reading the book along with the audiobook when I can, just because there are quite a few characters in there, and a lot of them are obviously, because it's in a period moment, not listed by their first name. So I have to go, who is Miss what's her name again? And then it helps if I can actually read it in print and go, oh yeah, that's that person's thing. Or I can go back and like quickly scan like who did what or what they looked like or whatever. As for Far Rockaway, basically this book starts off with a bang because this girl named Kat and her grandfather are hit by a fire truck at the front of the book. And I think what's going to happen is that, or at least from what I can tell from a summary, is that Kat maybe might go into a coma from this experience, but she's going to also simultaneously, while she's kind of fighting for her life, have a journey where she goes on an adventure, and it has to do possibly with the stories that her grandfather has previously told her throughout her life. And it sounds like it's gonna be like just a fun adventure bomb experience with like lots of family focus in it. So I'm excited. The book is set in New York, and they made the little sections of the book into things that look like subway stops, because there's like a place that's called Far Rockaway in this, and it's like it's on like a specific subway stop. So I thought that was a really cool just thing to split up the different sections of the story and what was going to happen. I'm gonna go try to figure out what I want to do for the Instagram challenge today. I forgot to tell you guys that I did the Instagram challenge for Tuesday, and it was really funny taking it because you had to hold up a book with something that was not your hand. So I tried to take it with my legs, and my dad like caught me in the living room like trying to take this photo holding a book with my legs, and I'm sure he thought it was hilarious. But this one we have to take a picture of our current read with a sentimental item that is also blue. So I have a couple ideas. As for the rest of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm probably going to do some video editing maybe. And then, I don't know, reading, I guess. I decided that I would listen to my audiobook of Tenant. I'm on chapter 14 of this. It's getting very exciting. While working on my planner spreads, because on Thursday I like to decorate my planners. So this one's for my chores and work planner. I made it a typewriter dog tea themed spread. So because it says all I want to do is pet dogs and drink coffee, technically is what it said, but I like tea more, so I made letters that said tea. And yeah, so this is my first spread, and then after I finish my book planner spread, I will show you what I do with that one. Awesome! I'm going to start chapter 16 of this, and I've finished my book decor, or my book planner decor. I track like what books I'm currently reading for the week on here, and then I check them off when I finish them, and then I do currently television shows, like what shows I'm watching, and I bubble them when I finish the season or watch an episode for the week. And then in here I just put miscellaneous things, like if I watched a movie or whatever, or finished a television series and kind of what I thought of it. And in this box, I just use it for decoration because I think it's something like important or something this one says. And I don't have anything really to use this box for, so I just did this cute little magical girls looking like unicorns and this little mermaid girl. And then I just decorated this side, and these are like the little things that I'm going to do for to-dos that are book related or booktube related. So I'll probably listen to more of my book because I'm at like a new spot with a new narrator for the audiobook. And then, yeah, that's the plan. Hello again, everyone. It is Friday. Yes, it's Friday. I don't have any new reading updates, but in about 10 minutes, I'm going to be hosting the Zoom meeting for the readathon, and I'm excited to see who shows up for it and how the game goes and what kind of game we're playing, because our friend Mark is heading that department. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. I have to set up my computer and all that for the Zoom meeting, and yeah, let's hope that it's just gonna be like some good readers gathering together, having fun moment. That is all I have to say for this, and hopefully I will get some more reading done because I feel like I'm super behind, but I'm almost halfway through Tenet of Wild Phil Hall, and I've at least gotten to like page 70 of Far Rock Away, but I need to get way further into both of those if I'm gonna finish this by Sunday. Say hello! Yay! We're all meeting for a game! Exciting! Realized that I had not graced you with a hooded jazz in a vlog for a long while. So here is your hooded jazz video. It is Saturday, so it's the second to last day of the Read a Ton of Blue Books readathon. Had a really fun time yesterday with just chatting to everybody on the Zoom meeting. So if you joined the Zoom meeting, thanks for joining that, because it was just fun. We talked books, we played a bookish game, it was cool. And then after that, I basically just read because I wanted to get past page 200 in Far Rock Away, which I did, and it's really, really exciting. The only thing that I will say about Far Rock Away is that I kind of wish that I had read the last of the Mohicans and Treasure Island before reading this, just for like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun, like even if you vaguely know what those stories are about, to like get the additional context of it. So that would have made that like extra super fun, but it's still really fun because it's got like literary characters involved in it and things like that in her like dreamscape. For Tenet of Wild Phil Hall, I stayed up way too late, like not even late, like way early. I was like reading this book till like 4 a.m. because I just could not put it down, and I wanted to just see how Helen was going to get out of this. I was like, how is Helen getting out of, how did she escape this crazy situation? And then also I was like, what's going to happen to Gilbert? Also, I've discovered that literary Gilberts are my jam. They are now my full-on like literary crushes. I looked up what Gilbert meant because I have like this character naming book, and it tells you what names mean in like etymology and all that stuff, and Gilbert means trusted. So God grant me a Gilbert. Definitely past page 400. I think I'm on like 402 or something like that. So I'm almost done with like the book part of this, but for it to count for Tome Topple, which started today, I have to read the introduction, but I didn't want to read the introduction before reading the book because I don't want to be spoiled, and a lot of times the introductions like assume that you've already read the book before or know about the book because it's a classic novel, and so I was afraid that would be the case, so I didn't want to be spoiled, and I decided to wait until I finish the actual plot part of the book. Now, I will say, though, the only thing that's happening with the audiobook of this, even though I really like the audiobook, is that I thought when I picked it that I picked an unabridged one, but there are definitely some abridged moments. that I find as I read along with this book. So I'm wondering if I like missed some things on like the few times I wasn't reading along with this, because it was fine when I was reading along with this because I could just stop the audiobook and read what wasn't included. So hopefully you didn't miss anything, but I'm definitely probably going to reread this book. I can tell you that right now because I'm really enjoying it. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. And I do really like the audiobook because it has two narrators, because this book has two elements of the epistolary format to it. One is like these letters that Gilbert is writing to a friend about his like experience with the mysterious woman that is Helen. And then the other part is like Helen's diaries. So they have like a male reader read the Gilbert parts, and they have a female reader read the Helen parts. And I quite like that element. That's why I chose that audiobook. But I thought that it said unabridged. I don't know too. You never know if it's like the edition that you have or something. So maybe that could also be the case, but I don't know. Anyway, if you have a physical copy and you still want to use that audiobook, it's not the end of the world. You can just read the bits that aren't in the audiobook. I'm really tired from doing some Zumba because we've been doing Zumba with our friend who teaches Zumba on Saturdays. She's been like offering like a free Zoom class, and so I'm super tired from doing that and trying to take the Instagram challenge photos for both this readathon and Tomb Topple, because I was like having to move all the objects in it and stuff. I really should show off the pictures from both of those because they turned out quite nice, but there was a lot of maneuvering and finding objects to put in the picture, things like that. It was kind of a hot mess getting there, but it was quite cool when I got there. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna continue on in Tenet and at least try to get the book part done, because I think I only have maybe 3 hours left in this, and I'm hoping to finish the actual book thing, not the introduction, tonight, so that I can watch a movie. I want to watch the new remake of Valley Girl because an actor I really like is in it, and it seems like a musical, so I want to watch that hopefully tonight because it's on digital now. And I also want to just see if I can complete a third book. So yeah, I'm gonna get to reading. It is the final update, guys. Actually, it's Monday. It's not Sunday, which was the last day of the readathon, but I don't know. I got like carried away with other projects yesterday, one of which was, first of all, finishing this book right here. By the way, that movie that I mentioned I was going to watch, Valley Girl, it's really cute. It's not like anything like deep and meaningful or anything. It's a straight up like 80s jukebox musical with whimsy, but my goodness, it made my heart light and happy. So highly recommend if you're just looking for something to make you feel light and happy. So first of all, completed Tenet of Wildfell Hall. Ended up really loving this, and I wasn't sure what would happen because I've never read Anne Bronte. I've read the other two Brontes. And I also wasn't sure because it's an epistolary, and sometimes epistolaries can be real hit or miss. And by hit or miss, I mean a lot of them are misses, but there are a few hits. And this one's a hit. Really loved, first of all, just the discussion of this book because it does kind of delve into like a dark situation with the female character Helen and her experiences. And I kind of think that it's interesting that it talks about a form of abuse that is not really, I think, recognized as often, which is to me more of an mental, emotional abuse than like physical abuse involved in this book. So I thought that was an interesting discussion. And then also it does talk about alcoholism and all those things, but also the other part that was like the gothic romance sort of love story that was interweaved was quite nice, and I quite enjoy, you know, just what was going on with that. So very happy with this classic novel. Gave this one 5 stars. On Sunday, I completed all of Far Rockaway. This is actually, to me, a book that's kind of geared kind of for the age in between middle grade and YA. But I definitely think that any age could enjoy this book and think that it is a good read. It's just kind of about family and the importance of family, and also the importance of story in people's lives and how story can affect people's lives, but all within this sort of, I would call it almost a Wizard of Oz kind of dream situation, where the main character, Kat, she's kind of going through this dreamscape adventure. So if any of that sounds cool to you, I think you will enjoy this. This book made me shed a tear near the end, and I was like, wow, y'all, I was not expecting to shed a tear. But also, I guess I was just in the mood for tales of high adventure, like things where we're with pirates and swashbuckling, and we're climbing mountains and all that, and it has all that to it. It also has a really good element of just general well done girl power, so I think if you're looking for that, you will also enjoy Far Rockaway. Gave this one 5 stars as well. So as a kind of general wrap up, I read To Kill a Kingdom, which I gave 4.25 stars. I would recommend this if you liked the book A Curse So Dark and Lonely. It has a very similar setup as A Curse So Dark and Lonely. It's also fairy tale retelling like that book. Also has a lot of swashbuckling and like mountain climbing adventure things. I guess that was just my mood and I didn't know it. I recommend Far Rockaway for people that like sort of things in the vein of The Wizard of Oz or things like that, but definitely also for people that like those high adventure stories and things like that. And I would recommend Tune to Wild Fell Hall to anybody that likes, of course, the Bronte sisters previously. I think it's a nice in-between between Charlotte and Emily. So if you want a nice in-between between Charlotte and Emily, read an and. Also, I think if you like hard-hitting things, you'll probably enjoy this as well. And the audiobook that I listened to of this, I would recommend, although like I said, there are like some small abridgments to it, so you may want the physical copy just in case that happens, and or in case that bothers you. I would say that the abridgments don't really lessen anything in the book, but you do get a little bit more like emotional information, I guess, if you read the stuff that's abridged. So that's just my thoughts. Anyway, read 3 awesome books for the Read a Ton of Blue Books readathon. Really glad that I picked all of these up, because for some reason they were ones that were like I kept meaning to get to and I just would never get to. So I finally have gotten to them, and I'm really glad that I ended up liking all of them. So that is it, I guess, for this readathon vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed my total incoherency and insanity, and I will see you all soon. Bye!